Welcome to Hood Champion Boxing and Sports. Fix this camera. In boxing, you find a way to win or you find a way to lose. Shakur Stevenson and Teofimo Lopez. Fight week is here. So you know we got to drop like a 10 or 20 part breakdown, man. Because this is one of the biggest fights that can be made in boxing, a true 50-50 fight. And in my opinion, Stevenson versus Teofimo is the definition of styles make fights. Because these two fighters represent opposite philosophies about how boxing should be fought and how fights should be won. Shakur Stevenson believes in control. His entire style is built around limiting danger, winning exchanges cleanly, and stacking rounds through consistency. He doesn't fight emotionally. He doesn't fight recklessly. He fights with a lot of structure. And he's been fighting this way since an amateur. No surprise, he won an Olympic medal. Many believe he deserved a gold medal. But at the end of the day, the style that he fights in has got him a lot of success, and that's why he's been able to dominate and move up multiple weight divisions as a professional fighter. Now, his footwork is deliberate, his guard is disciplined, and his punch selection is calculated. Shakur's game is about removing the opponent's options. He wants you to feel like there is nowhere safe to punch and nowhere safe to stand. Over time, that creates mental fatigue. And mental fatigue becomes physical fatigue. Shakur's not hunting chaos, he's hunting mistakes. And it's really important to understand when you talk about the mental fatigue he creates and how mental fatigue can become physical fatigue, because Teofimo Lopez, he has shown to have mental lapses in fights. The Jermaine Ortiz fight and the Kambosos fight, those two fights come to mind, where you can just see that Teofimo Lopez had kind of checked out for a moment. Now, speaking of Teofimo Lopez, he lives on the other end of the spectrum. Teofimo thrives in chaos. He thrives in moments where a fight turns unpredictable and emotional. His style is explosive, but it's also volatile. He does not rely on volume. He relies on impact. He's aggressive, but he's controlled. He's not reckless. And Teofimo throws fewer punches than most pressure fighters, but he throws them with full commitment and destructive intent. He believes one punch can change everything. He fights with rhythm changes, sudden bursts, and aggressive counters. Teofimo's style is designed to disrupt structure, and that's what he's going to need to do when he faces Shakur Stevenson. Try to find a way to disrupt the Shakur Stevenson structure. Now, where Shakur wants order, Teofimo wants disorder. Where Shakur wants clean patterns, Teofimo wants collisions. And the mashup, crash-up is what I'm hoping for. Because one thing we know is Teofimo can bring it, and Shakur proved to all of us, even myself, that when it comes to him being able to fight on the inside, he can do it. That Zepeda fight proved a lot of us wrong. Some people are saying that, Zepeda's not Teo. True. But I'll be honest with you. Kind of hard for me to go against Shakur Stevenson. Something special about him, I don't care what you say. Something special about Shakur. And everything that we've mentioned so far, it creates a fascinating conflict of objectives. Shakur will be trying to turn Teo into a follower. He'll be circling, stepping off at angles, jabbing lightly, and often forcing Teofimo to reset and chase. He'll be trying to drain Teofimo mentally by denying him exchanges. And he'll be trying to prove that power means nothing if you can't land it. Now, Teofimo, meanwhile, will be trying to collapse the space. He'll be looking for moments when Shakur still stands, just for even half a second. And he will try to intimidate him physically and emotionally, forcing him to engage rather than just glide around the ring. So this fight is not simply boxer versus puncher, people. It is planner versus disruptor. Shakur wants a predictable fight where he can calculate risk and rewards. Teofimo wants an unpredictable fight where calculation becomes impossible. The winner will be the man who forces the other to fight outside of his preferred mental state. If Shakur succeeds, Teofimo will look frustrated, swing at shadows and lose rounds, and you can expect some animation from his corner. Because one thing for sure, we've seen Teofimo when he fought Ortiz, the corner was kind of getting a little bit frustrated. And when he fought Kambosos, the corner totally lost it. And I think if Shakur is up and Teofimo can't get to him, I think the corner, hopefully they learn from the mistakes and they can just keep a cool head because, boy, if they lose it, that's not going to help Teofimo. Teofimo is going to need someone that can give him sound guidance to help him work through the adversity. Now, if Teofimo succeeds, I'll say this. Shakur will be forced to fight in bursts instead of sequences, which could expose him to danger he normally avoids. So another layer of this style clash is also going to be something we saw this past weekend with Andy Cruz and Murataya is energy management. Andy Cruz, he was in elite conditioning. Murataya was in special conditioning. And what I mean is Murataya, when he hit the championship rounds, he was able to pick up the pace and fight even harder in the championship rounds than he did in rounds, I'd say 1 through 8, because round 9 isn't necessarily considered a championship round, but that's where you can see the separation become obvious. And I just think when you look at energy management here, Shakur is economical. He doesn't waste anything. His punches are efficient, his movement is efficient, and his defense is layered. Now with Teofimo, this is where I think Teo may have elite conditioning, but may not be special like Shakur's. Because Teofimo burns energy and explosions. He commits fully when he throws, and when he misses, then the reset cost him. And this is going to be very critical in this fight. He will commit when he throws, and when he misses. And then he has the reset, and that costs him. Over a 12-round fight, let me just point this out, people. That difference matters. Shakur is built for accumulation. Teo is built for moments. This is the type of fight where one man can be winning, but still be one mistake away from losing everything. Now, if you said, hey, you either place your money on who you think is going to make a mistake, or jump in the river butt naked, swim across halfway, stop, splash the water, disturb the man-eating crocodiles, and try to make it to the other side. I'll go ahead and make the bet because I don't want to jump in the river of man-eating crocodiles butt naked. I can see Teofimo just trying some shit. He's so athletic, he's so talented, he may just go in there and try something. But if he makes a mistake, Shakur is always in position to make you pay. And that could cause Teofimo to lose everything. But if Shakur, for some reason, decides that I'm going to stay in the pocket and just, exchange with him to prove a point, hey, it'll be a brilliant choice if he's successful, but it'll make him look crazy if he's unsuccessful, and then all of a sudden he gets dropped and he loses the fight. Because that's one thing Shakur says. He doesn't ever want to lose. You know, he remember in the Olympics, he said, they got me on video crying, looking crazy. But he just does not want to lose. That's why he says he does everything he can. He trains as hard as he does because he doesn't want to experience that feeling of losing again. So the energy management is going to be critical. But also, you got to look at ego. Teofimo's style depends heavily on belief. He believes he can hit anyone. He believes he can hurt anyone. Shakur's style depends on doubt. He wants his opponent to question whether they can hit him at all. This creates a psychological war layered on top of a physical one. If Teofimo lands, and if he lands early, you're going to see his confidence grow and his aggression becomes more dangerous. If Shakur makes him miss early, doubt creeps in, and Teofimo may try to force opportunities that are not there. So I want to see, is Shakur going to be able to make Teofimo miss? And is Shakur going to be able to have success? Is his confidence going to grow? Who's going to be able to seize opportunities and create more for themselves? But I'll go ahead and say this, right? This is part 1 of like 10 parts that I'm doing. And this is about identity. You know, who are you in the ring? Shakur is a surgeon. Teofimo is a hammer. Surgery requires patience and precision. A hammer requires commitment and force. One removes the threat piece by piece. The other seeks to end it immediately. This fight will reveal which identity holds up when tested by the other. We're going to find out, aren't we? Anyway, y'all keep cool. Shout out to the veterans, all 7 continents. I'm going to get ready to drop part 2 of this 10-part series. And in this next part, we're going to talk about the brilliance of Shakur's defense and the mentality of Teofimo's bombs to create destruction. Keep cool, I'm in the breeze.